What was the unsafe thing that happened with Katie? Was it when she cuddled with George for an hour? When she got her diaper changed? Georgenotfound that changed each other's diapers? Nobody wants to listen to her. Everybody's a clout chaser. Literally everybody. I hate them all. They're always doing this. From now on, the rule is you have to make good content and be famous to be believed. That's the new rule. New rule. New rule. It's me the whole time. It was me. You got the wrong guy. It should have been me. No! She just repeats the same thing over and over and over. George, you wouldn't lie to me, right?
George, you wouldn't lie to me, right?
Dude, oh, the last message. Yes! We know, sweetheart. We know. Oh, no. Yeah, so I guess there are some more allegations, MCYT allegations around Georgenotfound. Some girl has accused him of misogyny based on something that happened 4 years ago. I don't know what the deal is, but we're gonna investigate this through this Brione video, who seemingly has put it together for us. Thank you very much, Brione. I do appreciate your contribution. And everybody be sure to check it out if you like the video.
All right, hello guys, welcome back to another video. So I just figured I would wait a few days before talking about this because I just felt like we needed a little bit of a palate cleanser. I know I didn't upload yesterday, but I did upload earlier today, at least if this video is going to be coming out tonight. But yeah, for anybody who has not heard about this, there are apparently new allegations that have came out against Georgenotfound, and I'll be honest here, these are some of the most pathetic allegations I have seen in quite a bit of time. I mean, you guys know what happened with Katie and George, and Wilbur and Shovel. Like, if you guys thought those allegations were bad, I mean, just look at the ones right here, the new ones against George. Apparently, George is now being called a misogynist by a fellow Twitch streamer who goes by the name of Sophie, Texas, based off of a—
Dude, this, hold on. This profile is giving me the heebie-jeebies. Not because of anything in specific, but just the whole vibe here. This art, this background, just everything about it is just, it's bothering. It's bothering.
A clip that happened years ago during the whole Among Us era, because you guys remember all these big streamers would come together and they would play a game of Among Us together, and that was really big years ago. And her and George happened to be in the same game. They were making content and whatnot, and apparently one of these moments got clipped and was posted to Twitter trying to frame him as a misogynist. Now, I'm not sure what she initially said when she made her tweet about this, because she did make a tweet about it, but as far as I'm aware, she actually deleted it because she was getting backlash for it, and then she privated her Twitter. And if you guys are wondering what this clip consists of, I actually have the clip here, and I will show you guys that.
She doesn't exactly exude credibility. No, she doesn't. And I'm not saying that, you know, who someone is or their appearance or their, you know, their outward physical state necessarily means that they're lying, but sometimes you just get a few indicators, a few red flags, and you just think, maybe I'll view this somewhat skeptically. And when they have a bio that says not Ed Sheeran and they have like the dyed hair, just like, you just got to question it, okay? You just got to question it. You just got to put a little bit of doubt on it, put a little bit of questionability, put a little bit of like, what's going on here? This is a red flag. Put that in my back pocket. Analyze what she says objectively. However, there may be something strange going on here, and I need to keep that in mind, okay? I need to keep that in mind. Keep it in mind.
Just take a look.
It's James. I saw him on the camera.
Nice.
No. No.
You know, George was on the cam.
That's camera. I was together with
George, you
So you just gotta believe George because he said I saw him on the camera.
No, it's James. George, I saw George on cam.
What
George said lines
you can look me up and remember it's George.
George, you wouldn't.
Nothing gold. This is the first thing he said in months.
Is she's just getting ignored? Is she upset that she's getting ignored? She's upset that nobody wants to hear her speak?
James. The first thing he said in months.
There's another girl in the call who's clearly talking and like they're having fun. Nobody wants to listen to her.
There's no way it's not.
She's just upset she got left out. That's it.
George, you wouldn't lie to me, right?
So true.
George, you wouldn't lie.
She just repeats the same thing over and over and over. George, you wouldn't lie to me, right? George, you wouldn't lie to me, right? George, you wouldn't lie to me, right? No one cares.
I'm so sure to see who backed him up.
You wouldn't lie to us, right?
Yo. Everyone.
He would never lie to us.
She just keeps going, saying the same thing.
Georgenotfound would never lie.
She just keeps saying and hoping someone will realize, oh. Listen, I think we've all been in a situation like this when you're interacting with a group of people and you say something and nobody acknowledges it. You don't have to repeat it over and over. You can just sit in silence for a little bit, okay? It's okay to not be the center of attention all the time. You can just be quiet. You can just be quiet.
If you lie to us, I'm gonna cry.
No, he's right. He's right.
All right, so was anybody else stumped with this video? Because I really don't see the problem with it, except for maybe, oh, he was ignoring her. Big deal.
You being ignored has nothing to do with you being a woman. I wish it did, honestly, but in this case, it doesn't.
Right? Like, please, did anybody see any indication of there being any misogyny misogyny happening in this clip? Because I didn't see anything at all. I just saw that, oh, he was kind of, you know, ignoring her, and that was really it. Now, shortly after this came out, Dream saw it, got really pissed off, and decided to reveal DMs between him and Sophie, Texas. And for whatever reason, he decided to put this on his private Twitter, meaning only the people following him on his private Twitter could see it. I really don't understand that move at all.
Once you get paid for this role, not enough.
It's kind of petty in my opinion. Like, you can have a private Twitter all you want for a few specific people, but when you're trying to defend yourself, it's like, why put it on the private Twitter so people like me can't see it because you don't accept new follow requests? Like, it's actually so petty. That's just a criticism I have for Dream right here. But yeah, besides that,
That is annoying. Dream has like these like private accounts with like 40,000 followers, but he like won't open it up to the public. I don't even know what is the purpose for that. I guess you don't want to post it on your main account because you don't want to give them the most amount of attention, but then post it on your second account or something. Like, why hide it on the fake private account or something? And then it's like, we know it exists, we can't talk about it really. Like, why? Are these 40,000 people like your close friends or something?
he comes out, he makes a tweet and he says, behind the seats, quote unquote, Jesus Christ, these people are actually funny. I'm so over it. And then he attaches a video of a DM conversation that him and Sophie, Texas had. Let's just take a look. Dream accepts the request and he says, I saw people say you were trying to contact me. I couldn't see any messages though. What did you want to say? I really don't understand why you think I'm so terrible, but I'm happy to hear what you have to say so I can clear things up or apologize or know what's even happening. Sophie replies and says, listen, I appreciate you reaching out, following everything with George. I shared a vague statement from someone who had a bad and misogynistic interaction with him because they thought it would help back up the victim's statement. Oh, brother. I made it vague on purpose because the person asked me to. But
I shared a vague statement from someone who had a bad misogynistic interaction with him because I thought it would help back up the victim's statement. I made it vague on purpose because the person asked me to, but I see now that even though my intentions were to help a fellow SA victim cause more harm than good.
I see now that even though my intentions were to help a fellow SA victim, it caused more harm than good. I'm still keeping it vague because it's not my story to tell. I mean, bro, what the I hear everyone saying the same thing, but the person told me they thought it would help our fellow SA victim, and I agreed at that time. Now, okay, first of all, if you think sharing a moment where George was potentially misogynistic and he had like an interaction that was misogynistic to you or somebody else was going to even remotely help the SA.
Yeah, that's the thing. The misogyny doesn't have anything to do with SA either. So even if he was being misogynistic, why bring that up? You're not a victim in the same way. And if you believe that she's telling the truth, then why would you even tack that on?
Victim, quote unquote, in the George Katie situation. Like, you've got to be insane. And this is literally an example of trying to throw whatever you can at the wall to see what sticks. So you can absolutely ruin somebody maliciously because for whatever reason you do not like them. And specifically in this case, I wasn't really thinking that this was going to help anybody because it's already been proven that Katie is full of. So you coming out about this and then I guess providing that clip that quite frankly has no misogyny in it makes you look really stupid. I also don't understand keeping it vague because it's not your story to tell. Like, if it's not your story to tell, why are you even saying anything at all?
Wait, so is somebody who wasn't Sophie the one who brought out this allegation in the first place? I don't totally understand. Also, with the allegations, why even keep it vague? These people are such clout chasers. I hate every single member of the MCYT community. You people are all scum. You should be sent to the moon. I hate them all. They're always doing this. Everybody's a clout chaser. Literally everybody. You know, I've been researching this stuff. Okay, so during the whole Georgenotfound stuff, right? George was saying something to the effect of like, oh, I didn't know that anybody was upset with me. And we even asked people at one point if anything bad happened that night, and nobody said anything. And his evidence for that, the thing that he brought up, was the fact that at one point, someone named Average Harry had tweeted out something. He's like a small, you know, Minecraft content creator, whatever, 30,000 subs. He tweeted out something to the effect of like, Dream is a piece of shit because he brought like an 18-year-old drunk girl to his hotel room. And so Dream, and this was like months ago, keep in mind, before the allegations were made public about Katie. And so he's confused about this. Dream's confused about it. And he's like messaging people about it. He's like, hey, what's going on here? Harry apparently had like outed this story against Katie's will randomly when he didn't even know what happened. And then Dream has a conversation with Ghosty, which is Katie's friend, about it. At no point did Ghosty bring up the fact that there was some kind of problem with George in that room. Dream is like, hey, did anything bad happen that night? Ghosty's like, no, nothing bad happened. You know, I imagine Katie will be mad that Harry brought this up because nothing bad happened that night. Like, all these people are just like scum. I despise them. And the reason that they hate Dream is like, and okay, Dream is a corny, weird guy. Okay, he is. You can't deny that. Just look at the face reveal. Okay, look, like the face reveal is crazy. Okay, it's not even because he looks bad. It's just like a crazy video. Okay, it's a very crazy video. okay? It's a crazy video. I like Dream is cringe. And the people who don't like him for some reason because he's cringe will desperately cling to anything they can use to like pile on to be like, and the real reason I don't like him is because he did that. And it's like that gets disproven. It's like, well, now the real reason is this, and that gets disproven. It's like it's complete cancer. Like nobody can just not like someone because they're cringe or make bad content anymore. It always has to be some greater thing. It always has to be some greater thing. And I hate it. I despise it. I hate how people act.
Because the person who doesn't want to come out about it, like they wanted me to say very vague things to ruin this guy. And you want to know something else too? It's not even confirmed that like this other person even exists.
The root of all these problems is a predominantly female audience. Do these guys have a predominantly female audience? I know there's a lot of women in it, but I think that's mostly on Twitter. I think the female audience is mostly on Twitter because if you look at like Dream's channel, he gets so many views. There's no way that it's mostly girls, right? Like there's no way that it's mostly girls watching his stuff. And the actual content, it doesn't really like pander to women. Women just are part of like the stan culture. But the actual videos, if you watch them, aren't like
this video. 4 of my friends try and hunt me
like
down.
there's nothing about this that is like marketed towards women.
And stop me from beating Minecraft. Can they stop me from beating the Ender Dragon, or will I survive? This is Minecraft man.
It's just like dumb teenage girls who use Twitter, and that's why they have the crazy audience on Twitter. But on YouTube, it's not really a female audience, I don't think.
Also, only a small percentage of people that watch my video.
I do. I got one.
Like it's just like Minecraft stuff.
Yeah, this way.
Oh.
Like really, if something actually happened
I appreciate
to them, they need
your
to come
brutal
out about
honesty.
it now. And maybe we shouldn't be being vague about these kind of things. Things that quite
True.
frankly can ruin this guy's career or get you sued, by the way, because I mean, there's no evidence of anything here. I mean, the clip that was provided, you guys saw it. It had no misogyny in it. It was just him ignoring her. Logging on to say, while I will be keeping the circumstance.
While we're keeping the circumstances of this vague for the safety and well-being of the person, this is to show that Georgenotfound has a problem with taking accountability for his actions and a serious misogyny problem. What serious misogyny problem? It's me the whole time. It was me. You got the wrong guy. It should have been me. No. But serious, like there's nothing. You just got ignored. You're just not okay. How many subscribers does this person have? Who wants to bet this person has a dead channel? Maybe I'm wrong. Who wants to bet this person is irrelevant and gets just owned? 1,000 subscribers? Really? SMP Earth highlights part 2. We live in a society. Sophie versus geography.
I'm scared. Why am I scared? Because I'm gonna show how my
I'm a silly casual, Azrael.
brain works. Isn't
Okay, so you're just boring. You're just boring. Nobody cares about you. Shut up. Shut up, okay? From now on, the rule is you have to make good content and be famous to be believed. That's the new rule. New rule! New rule! Put that on I need to get a whiteboard so I can write down rules. That's a new rule.
Circumstances of this vague for the safety and well-being of the person. Dude, why? This is to show that Georgenotfound has a problem with taking accountability for his actions and a serious misogyny problem. Right, because I definitely believe that from the one clip that was provided. 100%. Georgenotfound is a misogynist, he's an essayer, and he's everything bad that's in the book. Like, I'm not sure if these people realize they can get sued for stuff like this. Like, this ain't a
I mean, you're probably not going to get sued for the misogyny thing. As far as a defamation lawsuit, it's typically not worth it, and the reason why is because these people don't have money. Katie Bugs doesn't have money, Sophie Texas doesn't have money, and even beyond that, court is just like a long, annoying process. And at the end of it, like, what do you get? Like, what do you really get? Even if you wanted money, like, even if they did have money, is it really worth the time and effort spent? You could just, you're a rich YouTuber, if you're George or Dream or someone like that, you could just spend more time making videos. Ultimately, the best course of action, I think, typically speaking, is just to make, you know, more content, basically. There's typically not any real benefit to suing someone. It's just not worth it. Make more content, you know, drop your video where you talk about what happened and debunk it to the general public, because that's what actually matters, you know. There's no really point to convincing the courts of it at this point. Sometimes it's probably justified, but generally I don't think a civil suit is really worth it.
joke, and they treat it like it is. Like, literally just showing one clip where there's no misogyny does not prove that he has a serious misogyny problem. And even if he did, that doesn't mean he's like an essayer or like Katie is alleging actually happened. No. But I mean, it's not really even an aspect in the situation because there isn't proof behind it. And that's what happens when you're being vague. Like, literally anybody can come out and say, oh, you're a racist, you're a misogynist, you're homophobic, you're blah, blah, blah. Provide some that doesn't even prove anything. And some people out there will believe it, and they'll believe, especially if they have some sort of bias against this person, they will believe that this person is actually like a racist, a homophobic, a misogynist, when that might not necessarily be true. Like, anybody can do this. And that's pretty much what Sophie is doing. I kept one screenshot, thought I kept additional, but honestly, I've been very triggered, so my brain is a bit scattered. How are you triggered from this? Are you triggered because you got backlash for this?
I've been triggered. Shut up.
Like, I don't understand it. The person who should be
I've been
triggered, or
triggered.
actually the people who should be triggered are
Base.
Dream and George. Like, why are you triggered? You didn't show Jack Like, these people are so funny. They're actually, like, hilarious. I don't understand. I saw some people talking about you saying stuff about me, though. Is it just about George? Obviously, I still have zero idea what you're talking about, and he has no idea either. But saying it's a story to tell, and so on, implies very, very negative things. Sophie replies and says, only about George.
Absolutely blackpilling when the last 3 out of 4 allegations against MC creators have been proven to be lies with George, Dream, and Tubbo. Yeah, I mean, the Wilbur thing, in my opinion, is kind of up in the air for me still. I'm not gonna say that he's guilty. His response was really bad, but I don't think Shelby really lied. She said some dumb shit afterwards about Katie, but I don't know. I don't think that Shelby thinks she's lying. I'm curious to see if there will ever be some kind of response from Wilbur in the future if he wants to try to save his career. Because I imagine that guy's life must be ruined, right? Like, he's so famous. Like, he can't go outside without seeing people who know who he is. And if they know who he is, they probably know that he had, like, some crazy downfall, right? I imagine he can't, like, go to the grocery store. Was he British? He can't even go to Tesco, mate. His life is ruined, yeah? He can't even go get some tea and crumpets and fish and chips at the store, yeah? It's crazy, mate. It's absolutely mind-boggling.
Not you. Tried to make that clear, but at a certain point, it was becoming more about me, and I didn't want to further
He's tall, too? What does that mean? He's easy to spot?
distract from the message to support victims, so I took them down. Or maybe it was because you were getting backlash and people were questioning you justifiably. Surely if it's that bad, I or George, at least I guess, would have some idea remotely what it's about. I don't understand the behind the scenes rumor mill. It makes no sense to me. George has been super kind to other creators from my experience, and I don't even recall ever talking to you or hearing
This is the thing. There's this crazy rumor mill with MCYT where they're all like high schoolers just like chattering to each other about the bigger creators and how like they have these little bad experiences with them. You know what I mean? Like, it's always like, oh, he ignored my DM. And then when the allegations come out, they're like, true.
anything about you at all. I asked him and he said he doesn't even remember calling with you at all. Just confused, I guess. Would love to hear more. Sophie replies and says, I will clarify for you and him that it's not about someone who was by him, just had a misogynistic interaction with him. I did clarify that before I took down the post. Okay, what do you mean this is not about somebody who was by him? Didn't you say earlier that this was to back up the victim's statement? The victim, meaning Katie, was accusing George of SAing her. Like, did you not say that? Did we not just go over that like maybe like a few minutes ago? I'm sure you can say
I
more.
like that this guy, Brion, is like pretty frustrated because it is a frustrating situation to see how these people act.
More than that, what if what you've heard is completely false or can be explained or is a miscommunication? I don't know when this would have ever been or who or anything. It's not your story to tell, but you're willing to air it out without even considering hearing another perspective. I don't get it. Yeah, it really doesn't make any sense to me, let alone that like Sophie didn't really like back anything up. Like, there was no evidence of the misogyny that she's claiming that George was allegedly participating in. And I also feel like it's counterproductive to just be super vague about something. Like, say if there actually happened to be somebody who is telling Sophie to take this to the internet and be vague about it. Like, I don't understand being vague about it. Like, that's not going to help you. If he actually did bad to you, he actually SA'd you or did something else very terrible to you.
This is always the thing. It's like people want to raise awareness. I just want to raise awareness. Yeah, you want to raise awareness for your own Twitter account and get likes, dude. That's literally it. That's literally it.
I don't understand just being like very vague about it and telling somebody else to come out about it while being very vague. Like, if anything, she should have just revealed the whole story if there is a real full story. Because this right here, this is pathetic. I don't expect y'all to remember, and I'm not offended. You don't. We've been in a few Among Us lobbies back in 2020 and then at Techno Dad's charity event. It's weird how you're pressuring me to say more on this when I've said I won't. I mean, really? You're trying to ruin a man's career. Of course he's gonna want you to say more. Like, is this person being for real right now? These people aren't gonna sit here.
You're pressuring me. Well, then why'd you make a public statement? Now you have to explain yourself and you're mad about it because you look bad.
At least I don't think they would. And let somebody just destroy their career off of false or very vague. Like, I don't think it's gonna happen unless they pull a Wilbur, but hey, that hasn't happened yet. It's actually not weird at all. You're publicly accusing me and my friend of things, and it's shocking. I'm pushing for a chance to even know what it is, let alone explain, apologize, and refute it. That's a ridiculous point of view. Sophie replies and says, just give me a second. I want to do the right thing. Like, bro, what do you mean? You really think he's gonna give you a—
You already did the wrong— Give me a second. I want to do the right thing. You already did the wrong thing. Walk it back. Apologize. Get off. Nobody likes you.
second when you're trying to ruin him? Insane, dude. Insane. I recognize your name. I just don't remember talking with you. Some of your tweets gave the implication we had such horrible interactions, but you've DM'd both George and I positively since 2020. But he's the most arrogant, terrible person you've met? I really don't understand. Okay, I'm just gonna say this right now. I'm really surprised.
And before she's like, well, I didn't realize, you know, my abuse until after it happened. I had to go back over my history and, you know, just reevaluate things. But now I can come to terms with the fact I was verbally by a misogynistic manipulator.
Surprised that Dream is actually challenging this person and not just doing what he did in the Katie situation where he went onto a Twitter space and cried and apologized. Like, I'm really surprised. This is insane. This is big for Dream. I DM'd you positively because at the time we had been in lobbies together and I was still new to streaming and I like making friends. But
George repeatedly ignored me every time I spoke to him, even though I tried to be as nice and respectful and not overwhelming as possible. I get it, I'm a stranger, but still, it was rude. Okay, you are not owed attention. You are not owed a reply from anyone in a conversation. If someone doesn't want to talk to you, you can say it's rude. That's not misogyny. People don't have to talk to you. You're probably just unfunny and say dumb shit. In that clip, you repeated the same thing over and over and over again. That's not misogyny. You're just annoying. It's a personal failing. It's not a George problem. Nobody owes you attention. Nobody owes you a response. Oh, he ignored me. He ignored my DM. Who cares? You can ignore someone. It's not that bad. I don't want to be a part of this. I was just trying to help back up a victim because I'm a victim of an SA. I've always stood up for victims. Yeah, so you supported her by bringing up something that didn't happen to you. I'll be honest, I wanted to like you because you seem nice, but I don't care for you. You can try and spin that into me being vengeful and spiteful. I'm just a victim trying to support other. No, you're not.
But I don't care for you. You can try and spin that into me being vengeful and spiteful, but I am just a victim trying to support other victims. You are literally, bro, you literally just explained what you are being. Like, is that not what this is? Because from what I've seen, it seems like you just don't care about the victims. You can say that you care about the
If you care about the victim, why would you why would you make like a false allegation calling someone a misogynist to support them? How does that help them? How does piling on with another false allegation to the false allegation help?
victims all you want, but based off of what we looked at, I don't believe it. And also this part right here where you say you don't care for him and you tell that straight to his face, I'd say that's being rude. So I guess you're a misandrist. I guess if we really want to use your logic here, yeah, I guess you're a misandrist. It looks like now you have misandrist allegations. Let's see how you like it. I'm sure George would talk to you about it, LOL. I'm sure he didn't purposely ignore you. Obviously,
why would someone bring attention to their own schizo behavior and try to demonize the other party? Because these people exist in these weird group chat echo chambers where they talk to each other and they're like, oh, George was misogynist to me. And then they'll send the clip and then the other people in the chat, because they don't like George, will be like, oh my God, this is actually real misogyny. You need to come out about this so that everybody can see. And then when like it hits normal people because it gets on Twitter and it leaves their target audience, they have to be like, oh, I see. So I'm just then. Well, actually, it's because I was supporting a victim is why I did it.
in an Among Us lobby or something, he could have just not heard you. That is true. If that makes him the most arrogant content creator you've ever talked to, enough to insinuate and support that he's
You haven't talked to enough content creators, I think.
a serial. That's insane. I'm sorry for what you've been through. I feel terrible for you. That's not right though. And it's not just supporting victims. I don't know what to even say. I'm sorry you don't like me. I don't know what I did, and I guess I never will unless you decide to tell me. George also doesn't know what he did, so unless you want to tell him, I don't think you should be vague tweeting like your friend was by him. Wish you well. I know this isn't the point, but why do you make the assumption I wouldn't tell you why I don't like you? Because you're being vague about things, and quite frankly,
because you didn't message him. Dude, oh, the last message. Yes. Sorry, I'm autistic. I pick up on weird things. Yeah, we know, sweetheart. We know. Oh no, bro. Stop.
You haven't told these guys why
It's
you
not
don't like
funny.
them. Because I don't think it's because, oh, he was being misogynistic when you have nothing to back that up with, at least nothing that you've provided.
Sorry, I'm autistic.
Sorry, I'm autistic. I pick up on weird things. Yeah, man, let's just use our disabilities as an excuse. Let's hide behind it. Pathetic, absolutely pathetic. You said you weren't fond of me and didn't elaborate. And I also asked you about the situation. You said it was weird that I was pressuring you. It wasn't pressuring, by the way. He was not pressuring her. That's why I would assume you wouldn't tell me.
He wasn't pressuring her. He was just asking her to elaborate when she made an allegation and then wouldn't clarify like what happened. And then the only thing she actually posted about the misogyny was nothing. Like, that's literally it. Sorry for trying to deplatform you. I'm autistic. Sorry for making a false allegation. I have Down syndrome. I literally have Down syndrome, dude. Wait, check this out real quick. Check out this video. I like that. I like this a lot. This is good. This kind of thing is good. I have the tism, but I do not go around making about people because the sisterhood.
Tell me? Go ahead and tell me, though. It's actually simple. I don't like your attitude. I didn't elaborate because I thought it would be rude. The excuses are insane, dude. Like, come on. This is why people think you're full of because you just won't tell George your dream, why you don't like them, and the issue that you have with them. I mean, you're saying things like, oh, I don't really like your attitude. Like, big deal. Cry about it. Dream sends a screenshot of somebody saying, why is Twitter acting like you guys are all serial R words? Like, I'm so confused. I'm sorry my attitude isn't good. I've been getting texts like these about you and others on Twitter. It's kind of hard to have a good attitude. Definitely, 100%. I agree. If people around you and people who have your personal cell phone number.
For real, this drama just proves that innocent until proven guilty doesn't exist. Also, people need to go outside more. Look, I'm not one to talk about going outside more because I'm a terminally online internet degenerate freak who spends all my day on my computer streaming, okay? It's 12 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon in the middle of the day. I could be doing anything else when I'm here, okay? So I can't really talk. But I think these people need to go outside a little more. They need something else. I don't know what they need. They just need to stop talking to these other freaks on Twitter. They need to like take in a normal opinion or something, because there's something wrong with them. There's something really wrong with them. And I don't think I can help them. I don't think you guys can help them. Somebody needs to help them. Somebody needs to help them with whatever kind of, you know, injection they need, whatever kind of serum they need to get them up to code. They need to see a doctor and they need to be helped.
Or texting you about like the that's going on Twitter and like the false that's been going down. Like, of course, if I was in his shoes, I would be really pissed and I would have a bad attitude, essentially. Like, it's totally understandable, especially when you're being unhelpful, not explaining anything, and the only thing you'll elaborate on is that you don't like my attitude. Yeah, cringe. Honestly, 100% cringe. Like, that's not why you came out about this originally. And I also don't think it was because, oh, you wanted to help an SA victim, quote unquote. Just me, though. Just me. I appreciate that you reached out to try and resolve things. I do, but at this point, this conversation is becoming unproductive.
The reality is people don't care if someone they hate is guilty or innocent. They're just happy to have a reason to hate them. Yeah, this is a thing. There's this meme that people will post on Twitter, and the caption is like, when the random e-celeb I find annoying turns out to be a horrible person. And it's like, on one hand, like it's kind of a feeling that a lot of people get, like I get it, you know, but at the same time, it's like, well, at that point, you're kind of celebrating that someone was basically victimized because you didn't like this random e-celeb. It's like, you're glad to see that somebody got in your eyes because you found someone annoying and now it turns out they were. Like, is that really a good position to hold? Is that really a good position to hold at all? Like, well, glad someone got... Wow, well, you're just a scumbag. But a lot of people just have, like, this is just a typical thing on Twitter and sites like that. Like, you just gotta block it out, okay? If I see people post that meme, I block them.
For you, and I don't like being pressured like this. I shared what I did to support Katie and this person. Yeah, good job. Very good job. You made them look even worse. Nothing more, nothing less. You asked why I didn't like you. I told you. I don't wish for your downfall because I don't like your attitude. I wish the creator space to be safe.
To be safer. What is unsafe? What's unsafe? You're not even a creator making money, so you shouldn't even have an input, first of all, in the creator space. Nobody cares. Secondly, to be safer. From what? What was the unsafe thing that happened with Katie? Was it when she cuddled with George for an hour? Was that the unsafe thing? When she got her diaper changed? Georgenotfound that changed each other's diapers because they were full after a night of partying and eating?
Safer. Well, all I can say is you're not helping the creator space become any safer by being very vague about things and calling George a misogynist for a clip that had no misogyny in it. Like, sure.
Also, just like this word misogyny, just words like that have lost all meaning to these people. Like, nobody knows the definition of anything. All of these random words, like, they've lost all meaning. Gaslighting has lost all meaning. Oh my God, that's a big one. Anytime I see someone use the word gaslighting, I basically immediately disregard their opinion. Not literally, I'll hear them out, but people just don't know what gaslighting means. If somebody lies, they're like, that's gaslighting. That's not what gaslighting is. Stop.
He could have been rude. He could have been purposely ignoring you. We don't know that, but there was literally no misogyny in that clip. Now, I guess with that all being said, I'm going to be wrapping up the video right there. Thank you guys so much for watching.
All right, that's a pretty good video from Beyond. You guys can check it out if you want. Safe to say, I think Georgenotfound is not a misogynist. You know what? Honestly, wish he was. Wish he was. Wish we had that in the bag, but he doesn't seem to be a misogynist to me. There's no evidence of George misogyny, in my opinion. Disappointing, you know, it's really disappointing. I wanted it to be here, man. I wanted to have it in the bag. And I would have collabed. I would have reached out to him for a collab, okay? I would have been like, hey, George, heard you hate women. I know someone that's just for you.